We are a Red Angus seed stock operation. We focus on producing genetics, particularly Red Angus genetics, for commercial producers to use within the industry to make better beef, more efficient and more profitable. We run about 900 to 950 cows. Each of those would have to have a calf every year, but essentially we sell about 500 to 600 bulls a year. So we do have a large impact on the commercial industry. We've been in the Red Angus business a long time, and we had our 50th annual March sale this past March. I think we've sold to 43 states, but I think it's just short of how many states have beef councils. Performance data has always been a passion of mine. I've always felt like that's how we could make real progress and give our customers the opportunity for their cattle to succeed and be more marketable. We've really tried to lead the way on selecting for better dispositions for lots of different reasons. Better gains on cattle that are quieter, easier to handle, run more cows with less people. It's about producing better cattle and making the environment better for them to succeed. We want them to have a good day every day, take advantage of all the genetic selection that we have used in order to take advantage of the environment that they're in and utilize a lot of these forages to make good, nutritious beef. We were early adopters of ultrasound for carcass quality. We were also early adopters of DNA to select better cattle.
Back in the day, genetics were just this cow looks better, this bull looks better, throws better calves, and now today to kind of streamline what we want, what our customers want the bulls to produce for them. That's where the genetic technology and mating selection and everything, all our criteria, that's where you see the most improvement.
This time of year, we're evaluating those calves out of those new sires and seeing how they're doing.
And there's a lot of enhancement as far as DNA and how that's going to actually help us predict what the cattle are going to do and how they're going to perform. You know, we're looking at the phenotype and we know what the bulls are going to look like. Tough part's when you have a bull that hasn't had any calves yet. We gamble and it's worked out for us. It's kind of crazy to think that you're not going to see the result of that for 2 years when you actually sell them.
My dad, Ron, and my mom, Lois, were founders of Bieber Red Angus Ranch. They put their life's work into this. My dad started here in about early 60s. My mother joined him in about 63. Originally, the place was stocked with Hereford cows, and he felt like there was going to be a better answer. Then through study and research, my dad really loved to read. He actually got hooked up with Red Angus and really fell in love with the results it produced. Ended up buying 6 registered pairs. The banker said I should just foreclose on you now. Repairs at that time would have been bringing $75 a head. Okay, so relatively speaking, it was a lot of money. But he started the operation. He had his first sale in 1976. Sold about 60, 70 bulls in that first sale.
I did not realize that this was going to be the first production sale and there could be many after. And when we got through with that, Ron said, well, we're going to make plans for next year.
My mom was always very supportive of my father's decisions. She was as passionate about promoting Red Angus as he was. They just made a lot of good decisions in order to make this ranch more financially sustainable. I know that my dad was very proud. When I came back, we were like a 350, 400, and I quickly began to realize that that wasn't going to be sustainable for an ambitious young man. Felt like we needed to scale it. And we tried some other breeds, but at some point, I decided that if we were really going to do this, we just needed to be the best in the world at Red Angus. And so I've really focused on making Red Angus as good as I can and just keep grinding at that every day.
Open.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a partner with Craig in the operation. We own it 50-50, but I do all the financials and the record keeping.
Yeah, and next time we're going to put...
And Craig's the visionary, and I'm the one that's, how much is it going to cost? And how are we going to do this? Let's figure this out. You have that.
She's always worried about how much this new acquisition is going to cost us. For instance, we spent $150 on one bull and $135 on another this year. She always holds my feet to the fire. Okay, how much, how many, how much, that sort of thing.
I also have to keep on top of it so I know where the money situation is. October is our first sale, in November, and then we have our March sale, and then we have an April sale, and then we don't have any income till October again. I lived in Aberdeen, went to high school there, graduated high school, went to college there. My first husband was a stockbroker in Aberdeen, and we opened a bookstore. He was killed in a car accident about 8 months after we opened the bookstore. So I was running the bookstore by myself, raising 2 kids as a single parent, probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Craig kept coming in the bookstore, and I knew he wasn't a reader, so I couldn't figure out what was going on. And he asked me to go to the movie one night, started dating, and then he got me up here and showed me around, and I thought, oh, this is an impossible situation because I have a business, you have a business, I have a home, you have a home. I've been married, you haven't. I have kids, you don't have any. I don't know how this is gonna work. But we worked through all of that, and he decided we're going to get married because he wanted to raise the kids, and they didn't have a father, and he was going to be their father, and that's the way it was going to be. So I was still running the bookstore, and my kids were still going to school in Aberdeen, and when they transitioned to kindergarten and middle school, the decision was made to move up to the ranch. And so we made this our home. So I continued my bookstore. I had it for 23 years and closed it in 2013. We had a sale up here that did 4 times as much as I normally did in 1 year at the bookstore. And I thought, what am I doing? So made the decision that I was going to come up here and work with him and make this my career. That's how I got here.
Kristin and Jake came back here. My dad was still alive. He was in the nursing home at the time, and Kristin was kind of officing with us, and it was pretty tight. And we talked to him about his office, and he said, Kristin, you can have my office. So I know that he was really proud of the fact that we have another generation coming back.
Man, growing up on the ranch was something that at the time I don't think I appreciated a lot. Now looking back on it, it was such a amazing experience that has shaped like who I am today, but at the time I didn't always love it so much. We were transplants, Eric and I. We came a little bit later. I was only 5, but starting out I really loved everything about the ranch, but as I got older I really kind of struggled to find a place here. I kind of just felt like a little bit of a fish out of water here. I now, looking back, can really appreciate the way I grew up and the ethic that was instilled in me. Lessons that you learn just being out in the middle of nowhere and being in this kind of environment, they did really shape me, even though at the time I felt like, what am I doing here? I actually went to the University of Nebraska in Lincoln for my freshman year. That was a huge culture shock for me because, you know, for reference, I graduated with 11 people here, and 9 of them I had gone to school with since kindergarten. So I thought I was so cultured when I left, like every 18-year-old. And then I went down to Lincoln and I was in these classes of 400, 500 people in a lecture hall, and that was just too much for me. So then after that year, I transferred back to a small private university. It's called Augustana in Sioux Falls, and that was way more my speed. Small classes, like, 25 people. So that was kind of like my first inkling that maybe it wasn't so bad, where I had grown up. So I just worked in college and I did a lot of retail work. I worked at clothing stores, and actually that's how I met Jake. Through college and even after college, he struggled a lot kind of finding his place in the world. He wasn't sure what he wanted to do, what kind of legacy he was going to leave. And so he was kind of moving back and forth between different jobs.
I came up here in college and just fell in love with it just when me and Kristin were dating. I can actually pinpoint the moment. I was fixing fence and I was all by myself and just looked out and was like, this is it. Just had, like that clarity moment. It was just like, this is where I want to be. It took about 5 years of convincing everyone, but in the back of my head, I had a plan.
And I was like, no, heck no. Like, no, we are not doing that. I'm not going back. And he just kind of kept working on it over time. He talked to my dad about it, and so of course they were in cahoots on that.
And then finally we took the deep plunge and just decided to go all in and move on up here. There was a large learning curve, but I think what he saw was just that thinking a little bit differently, and also had the sales background, the business background.
Jake is amazing in the fact that he didn't even grow up in an egg operation. They really are going to be a good fit for this business going forward.
I was able to come back with a fresh perspective, a fresh set of eyes, and kind of see like what I could actually bring instead of feeling so out of place. That I did have that perspective that was unique and that could set us apart and could help make a life and a business here really thrive.
Having them around has really revitalized Craig and I. To that point, we were building it to sell, but now we see a legacy. We see them taking over, and we see their kids taking over someday, and we see a future of this ranch continuing on. And that's important to us, very important to us. When they came back, Jake was going to work for us. Kristin didn't want to put all her eggs in one basket, but then she didn't find anything right away, and she was pregnant, so she worked for us, just part-time. She started doing all of our website, our social media, our catalogs, which is huge. We used to outsource that, and that alone saves us a ton of money and time. And when she finally did get a job offer, I said to Craig, we probably need to hire her. And he goes, okay, can we afford her? I said, I don't know, but we really can't not afford her. We probably couldn't pay her as much as she was going to get paid somewhere else, but we could offer the flexibility, and her kids wouldn't have to go to daycare. She could bring them with her. And that made her very happy.
I felt like that was the best of both worlds. I could work, but I could also be with my kids full time. That has been kind of our deal since the beginning, and as I had more kids, I kept saying, I was like, is it still okay? It works so well. The kids just kind of have their own rhythm when they're here. I hope that my kids can appreciate the life they have now sooner than I did. They go back and forth between Grandma and Grandpa and my office, and they go out and they ride in the tractor with Jake, and he takes them in the Ranger or move cows, and they just get kind of that experience that you wouldn't get literally in daycare or doing anything else.
I'm the cow boss. Take care of the day-to-day operations. I've always just loved being around cows and horses, so I'm pretty good at cattle handling and kind of a jack of all trades, I guess. It'll be 20 years in the spring. A lot of the facilities you see around here, they were not here 20 years ago. We lived a little rougher life back then.
Unless they want to do something like that. Oh. My wife and Mai's relationship is great, but her and I couldn't have built this without him. Him and I think alike. We have the same general philosophies when it comes to breeding cattle. There's just so many things that I don't even have to worry much about because him and I are thinking alike. It's a great relationship in the sense that if I mention something, he's probably already thought about it, or he thought we should do something, or he'd already done it. We're so aligned on how to breed cattle. That's probably what makes the relationship and makes our operation more successful. We have 2 or 3 of us that really enjoy diving in genetics and discussing it and talking about it. We get all the bases covered when it comes to development of seed stock with the genetics, proper development so they have better longevity in our customers' herds.
It's a really good partnership. We pulled Craig Howard in because he takes care of the cows for us. We consider him part of our management team as well as Jake now. We pulled them in too and asked their opinions because Craig can have great ideas and I can think that we can finance it, but if the guys aren't going to implement it, it doesn't make any difference. We need to have them buy into that idea or concept of what we want to do. And I think we make better decisions doing it that way.
We meet every morning, talk a little bit, if I see something that I think needs to be done.
We got a really good crew, and that helps a lot. What we've tried to instill in the whole team is we try not to work until dark every night, but when we're here, we got to keep moving. We probably run it a little different than most outfits. You know, we try to be out of here at 5 or 5:30 every day.
The peacefulness in the space is the best part. There's always something about the wind and the grass and the cows and being on horseback. It's a tradition, but it's also good for the soul.
20 years ago, when I started here, there was hardly a day went by where I didn't have a saddle on a horse.
There's a John Wayne nostalgia to it. Then we have more time to do the traditional stuff that everyone likes to do.
Saw a lot of Rangers and side-by-sides running around here today, too.
We really use a lot of data, DNA, and planned matings in order to make seed stock that are more efficient on rangeland and in the feedlot. We decided we could put our cattle in larger groups, turn out multiple bulls, and use DNA to actually determine who the sire was.
Technology going forward with cattle. There's a lot of enhancement as far as DNA and how that's going to actually help us predict what the cattle are going to do and how they're going to perform.
For me, it's about producing better cattle and making the environment better for them to succeed. We generally want cattle not to have a bad day around here. One of my system strategies is sell every cow when she turns 7, so that way we keep our genetic turn high. We've had inquiries that have used our genetics from, I think, almost 40 countries.
It starts from day one. Once they're born, they grow up being handled in a low-stress manner. You lower cortisol levels, lower stress levels, and it helps them grow.
These cattle are really calm, and I think that's a big part of good quality meat. I mean, I know we sell registered bulls and seed stock, but that goes down the line to the calves.
We're dealing with, 1,500 pound animals here. You don't want them angry, and you don't want them worked up. If you treat your cattle right, it helps everybody out in the long run. The cattle do better, makes your job easier.
They're very well taken care of, probably better taken care of than most of those people's pets. They want for nothing. If they're not treated well, they're not going to treat us well, and then we're out of business.
If you're a herdsman and you work for somebody, you treat those animals like your own, and that's your duty as a shepherd.
You can walk through a herd of them, and none of these will even try and bluff you.
The cows that are really friendly and like to get scratched, you always remember those. We worked really hard on that for a lot of years, and it's paying off.
It's fun to watch different sires and what their babies look like. We can go out to a pasture and pretty accurately go, this bull's calf. There's some that are more standoffish and private, and then there's some that really don't care that you're there, don't really mind you, and some are inquisitive, and some are bosses. They have a pecking order just like any other animal.
We've really focused, probably for the last 15 years, on selecting better disposition. Calmer cows when they calve. Cattle that are easier to deal with when they handle it. They gain better, they marble better, they're more tender.
Nutrition's been one thing that I actually felt comfortable with from the science background. I did a lot of biology in school, so it wasn't complete out of left field.
Our passion is making them better. We put a lot of effort into raising this product.
I swear the cows do know when it's a weekend, because that's when they decide to run through the neighbor's cornfield. In this life, you're a slave to the cows. The cows are your priority. You kind of have to be okay with that.
You get to see all them cows, you get to be around them all the time. It's a good way of life, I think.
Even the commute to work where you don't see anyone, and it's just riding with my dog in a Ranger to work. I mean, who gets to do that? But when you can actually have those moments throughout the day where you just kind of take a second to be like, yeah.
The sunrises out here and sunsets are amazing. Watching the storms roll in, watching the cows go across the pasture, eating, you feel happy. You just feel content.
I never would have imagined that I'd be where I'm at right now 4 years ago.
My parents had a few acres. As I got older, got into horses and then cattle. The bug stuck there, I guess.
Right out of high school, I got a job as a survey tech, and I lost my job right around COVID. I'd always wanted to get into ranching, but not a lot of ranching in North Carolina.
2 years was long enough to be not having any cattle.
I looked around and I got on Ranch World, just started applying to listings.
So I just started looking for a job with someplace that had cattle.
I got in touch with Craig Bieber, and I drove out here, worked for a week, and things went well, and they offered me a job. That was 4 years ago, kind of got thrown right into it. One day I might be driving a semi or a dump truck. The next day I'm raking hay, or I'll be working cattle. There's a lot of variables, there's a lot of different stuff that you have to learn to do, but it's very rewarding.
I mainly do general maintenance, so like oil changes, change the filter, blow the air filter out, and grease it if it needs greasing. I feed cattle usually in the morning, then I'll do my maintenance, and then if they need help with the cattle.
There's just so much more to this lifestyle and to ranching than just being around cattle and being around horses. There's a lot of moving parts. On any given day, I could be dealing with a water tank or working on a piece of equipment or hauling hay. Being a part of an operation like this, I feel more confident that I'm not just doing it because I saw a reel on Instagram or I watched Yellowstone. If you're willing to learn and you're willing to put in some long hours and some hard work, then absolutely go for it. You don't want to be sitting there 30 years from now looking back wishing that you had and not knowing whether or not it would have panned out.
The cattle, the work, it's hard, but I want to do good no matter what.
I'd like to have my own place one of these days, my own ranch, run some cattle.
I enjoy the atmosphere, the cattle, the horses. It's nice when you can just go and do your tasks and you accomplish something.
I bought a 7-year-old last fall, calved her out this past spring. She had a bull calf. There's a lot of hoops they'll have to jump through. With a little bit of luck, you'll make it to the spring production sale, and that'll be a nice little chunk of change. Probably get invested right back into more cattle.
We have 4 to 5 sales a year, just depending. Our flagships, we get quite a few people because we get a lot of people that buy 1s, 2s, 3s. They study the offering, they get the catalog beforehand and kind of figure out which bull's best for their operation.
Sale day, it's mainly just making sure that all the bulls look okay or all the cattle look okay, and they'll sell themselves as far as I'm concerned.
Close to perfect. We'll get by wire. I got 4,250, 845, 7.5.
During the sale, me and Howie are both on the phone. We do a lot of bidding for our own customers. It's a lot in a quick span of time.
Right here, what a heifer. Here you go. Here's lot 22. Look at that. Out here, dark, cherry red, and good looking. Out here, lot 22. Got 4,250.
They have a rhythm. The auctioneer does.
Right here, you want them quiet, gentle, and great feet and legs. Right here, the Bieber program is right here.
The breeding is important, how we take care of the animals is important, but the customer service is huge in this business. The DV auction has helped us do that. Better than 50% of our bulls sell on the internet. In Ron's day and age, you were going to sell bulls on the internet, he'd have not ever believed you.
500, so 52.5. Thank you both.
One of the things that my mom has always said, even when I was a kid, is that people buy cattle from people. I honestly think that the thing that really has built the business and set it apart is the fact that he has 5,000 contacts in his phone, is the fact that he can remember conversations with people and connect with people. If you look at his desk, he is not organized, but man, can he talk to people. He's very knowledgeable, and that is something that people are just drawn to, and I think that he just makes people feel comfortable.
It's nothing for me to call 15 people a day. This is one of the most valuable tools I have because I have all my customers in here and I have about 5,000 names in there. Driving down the road, I can call a customer and see how the bulls are doing.
Craig and I do lots of road trips where we go out and we just We visit customers. We went down one year, we went down on the southeast and went through that part of the country, the Carolinas, into Georgia, down to Florida, visit people all the way there and all the way back. He loves it. He loves making contact with customers and talking about their needs and what they want, what they need to have. We want to talk to you about your operation.
When we came back, my parents were focusing a lot on their current customer base, but one thing that they had that Jake and I talked about and made a change right away is that to request a catalog, you had to call. I don't know very many millennials that want to pick up a phone and call somebody. And so we switched it to an online request form. Within a year, I think, got somewhere like 1,500 catalog requests. They weren't gonna do anything if they just sat there. So then Jake started calling. He would just sit down at night and call like 10 people every night from this new customer list.
My previous sales experience was just cold calling people, talking to people randomly who did not want your product at all. So coming up here and people are requesting catalog, you already have an in. So I have everything on my iPad there too and on my phone. So I can do my main job while I'm talking on the phone.
Jake's really strong. He was in digital sales before, and he did all that over the phone. He had skills that we figured out how to utilize, and he's really good at talking to people on the phone.
Craig handles a lot of the already customers, the ones that have been around for a while, so I've been kind of taking over, calling all the new people that request and getting in touch with them. I think it works out really good with our operation. I mean, Craig has a great relationship with a lot of those guys, so if he can just keep on doing that, then I can start bringing new people in.
To have Jake come in with this different perspective and be able to talk to people in the younger generation in a different way, they kind of play to each other's strengths in that sense. They both are keeping that customer focus, focusing on the people who are gonna buy the cattle, but in different ways. I think that's really strengthened us and really has us on a good trajectory into the future. When we came back, social media was shifting a bit. Businesses were kind of using it as advertising for a long time. People wanted a connection. They wanted authenticity. They wanted to see your story. They didn't want to just see what you had to offer. And so I really got into that. I loved kind of taking what we did and turning it into a story and more lifestyle focused and telling people like, this is our process. I feel like almost the majority of our warm leads have come in from the social media pages and building that up, which is just kind of a cool evolution to see. We primarily focus on Facebook and Instagram on the ranch, and I've simultaneously built a brand as the basic ranch mom, and so those two have kind of coincided together. They cross paths occasionally. That has grown a lot. I mean, it's something that I feel like now, 3 years later, could probably turn into a really good source of income, a brand that we can kind of weave together and diversify what we do in the business. Consumers really like understanding the people behind what they're doing, the authenticity behind what they're doing. And they want to know where their beef comes from. They want to know where their cow come from. That's something that we can do to kind of just build the whole brand.
We not only do DNA testing on our animals, we also provide DNA testing for our commercial customers. This gives them an opportunity to find out traits that their cattle have.
We've been doing that for several years now. I think it's important because they can select the right females to fit their operation. With registered cattle, we have a lot more opportunities because we collect a lot more data points. The DNA markers are all proven through our data, and so if they're using cattle that are proven within the database, it just makes it so much easier to select the right females to help make their operation.
What they're doing is testing their heifers, so they can choose the best heifers to put back into their herd, and they can figure out what are the best as far as maternal traits, as well as marbling and some of the traits they need that these heifers are going to produce. They can do parentage with that and find out which bulls offer the best traits for their animals. That offers them another step to improve their herd. They collect the DNA and they send it to us, and we process it and send it into the DNA company. When the results come back, I send them to Craig, and he will go through and he will analyze them and send them a report as well as the report they get from the DNA company. And then they discuss it and decide what the best heifers for them to keep, depending on what their goals are, because everyone has different goals. We're trying to build their herds. Some are just trying to produce good beef. We can help them find the right animals for their herd. What we offer them for that DNA, we offer them a $10 wholesale credit in our sale. So they get a little bit of that back. We have several customers who have done it for many, many years and swear by it. They think it has really improved their herd. And so in that sense, we're trying to help them produce better cattle and also help them find out the genetics that work best in their herd. It's a learning curve. They have to believe in it. And in order to believe in it, you have to try it and see what the results are. Eventually, this whole DNA thing is just going to be standard practice for the ones who want to be progressive and improve their herds.
We have a customer in Colorado who's been using it for 10 plus years who's told me, I didn't think it could do a better job than I could. It actually helps him select better females. He said, I have more live calves. I don't know how it does this. Certain animals work better within a certain environment. You don't always want to maximize a trait. Sometimes maximizing a trait pushes that animal out of your environment. There's a small movement within the industry to put some marginal farmland back into grass. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm a pretty terrible farmer. I like cattle. I always have loved cattle. So some of these dollars available for conservation programs like Second Century Habitat, we have converted marginal farm ground to grassland. Right now, we get paid to do that, and they paid for the seed, but we get to hay half of it every other year. And it's important for pheasant habitat because they need that nesting area, and they also need tall standing forages for those pheasant chicks because they're really tender when they're born, and a hard rain or hail will kill them. We are also working with Ducks Unlimited to create water line and actually turn some other marginal ground back to grass. It's important to us from the standpoint of having areas where wildlife can cohabitate in our operation, but it also creates more grass for our cows so we can graze our cows longer and helping with profitability. If we have more adequate forage, our cattle perform better. We're creating genetics that we want to perform at an optimum. So it's important from that aspect. Kind of our old adage is when we graze is take half, leave half. And we use that loosely, but the reality is we want to leave some standing forage most of the time. And I say most of the time because there are some areas that we need to sacrifice because when we need to start feeding, we like those cattle to be able to spread out. But on a lot of our ranch, we're leaving a lot of forage so the wildlife has protection and feed and that sort of thing. It's critical to us because if you have a little more standing forage and a dry year the next year, you've conserved some forage and some carbohydrate reserves within that plant. A little bit of moisture goes a long ways in that situation. I didn't think any of our kids would come back. Actually, I have to give the credit to my son-in-law, Jay. No experience in ag. He had a nursing degree. He was the one who wanted to move back here. It's been great having them. It's given me a second kind of energy. You're building it for the next generation or maybe the generation after that. And we do have grandkids who love payloaders and cows and all kinds of things, and they love it here, and I foresee the time when maybe one or two of them decides, hey, this is a pretty good life. And that's why my daughter moved back. This is a good area to raise kids. Small school system.
My parents have built such an incredible business here. They really were forward thinkers. They were early adopters. Cattle and agriculture tends to be a little bit behind. For Jake and I, it just matters more where are we at now and what can it look like in the future.
Peggy and I have doubled or more. Our kids are likely going to have to do that again. They'll probably have to have more cattle in order to support the families that live here.
I don't know if that looks like possibly branching into a commercial herd that can go alongside. We're always going to have that core foundation of registered Red Angus cattle because it's what we're good at, it's what we know, it's what we have a solid market share in. diversifying what we do in the business and just making sure we're keeping up with the industry and what our customers want. We have ideas for social media brand-wise that I think could be really interesting and just really support the core of what we do here. Honestly, we're kind of just really open to exploring all of those ideas. Those brands are not only going to help our business here, but it's also something that we can do to kind of just build the brand as a whole. I'm here because my parents have done so much for me. They gave me a wonderful life. I grew up in such an amazing place. I've had such a great opportunity to come back here with my husband and my children. It's not just like oh, this was a good business decision. We've just had so many moments that reinforced that this is where we're supposed to be. I hope that my kids can appreciate the life they have now sooner than I did. I don't want any of them to ever feel like they have to stay here. I don't want it to be something that is a burden or who's going to take it over when mom and dad are done. If nobody wants to be here, that's okay with me. And Jake and I can find a way to wrap it up gracefully and put a bow on it. I do hope that if one or any of them want to be here, that they have something to come back to, because I'm so grateful to be able to be in a place where we essentially work for ourselves, and it's something that my parents built for me and that their parents built for them. We've found that here, and I hope that I have the opportunity to possibly pass that on to my kids. But if not, I hope that they just take what they learned here and the way that they grew up and understand like how unique that was and how unique that makes them as people, because it is going to shape their personality and the value that they bring to whatever they do.
Watching my kids grow up in a life that I didn't even understand a couple years ago brings you peace. Knowing that, you're not going to be able to protect them forever while they're young and innocent. I mean, they can just go out and they don't have to worry about people. You don't have to say, watch the road or do any of those things. I think that's one of the most important things of coming up here and just being in the middle of nowhere. My son, he's my little buddy. He knows how to run the payloader and do all that. And then you can go back in and hang out with Grandma and Grandpa. Grandpa takes them for ranger rides or whatever else we're doing around there if you can't come with me. I never grew up close to my grandparents from a geographical standpoint. Being able to see that relationship is really cool, because Kristin told me all the time she grew up, she always went to Ron and Lois's and hung out with them after school, and that my kids get to do it now. Each stage has just been another realization of this is why we did it. Those kids are so dang close, which is exactly what you want at this point.
Being a grandparent is so wonderful because in their eyes, you are the best. They just can't wait to see you, and they love you, and it's unconditional. I know that at 4 o'clock, when that bus pulls up into the yard, I may as well just not try and get anything done, because it's not going to happen. They want my attention, and they have it.
Knowing that I actually have a lot of stake in what goes on here, not just for me, but for the next generation, is one of the coolest realizations, which that didn't hit for a while, because the first couple of years it was just trying to learn and know what the hell was going on around here. And now it's like I can see where Kristin and I want to go and how we can set it up for our kids if they decide to do it. Having an opportunity to work on the ranch and just learn this lifestyle and know where their food comes from, how to do this life, and how to provide for themselves. I teach them how to hunt, do all those kind of things as well out here, which I wouldn't have learned if I didn't come out here. But if they decide to come back, I want to make sure that it's an operation at their space, and that means scaling even more growth, making it a good life for them to be able to have where we can all get together still and hopefully not piss each other off.